welcome to Holly Tree Manor. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I'm KC, in case you haven't been here before. So I sat down a couple days ago and I was editing a video and it wasn't going very well. And I thought, why are you putting yourself through this? Why do you want to make YouTube videos? Because making these videos is actually a little bit harder than I thought it would be. Uploading the videos to YouTube started a good many years ago when my late husband started losing mobility. We would always, walk the dog and do things together, and he got to where some days it hurt too bad for him to be out walking. His back and his hips, his legs, he couldn't do it. But I still had to walk the dog, so I took the phone along and made a little video of my walk through the woods with the dog, brought him home, put him up on YouTube, and that way he could kind of share in the walk. And there's some things he would, the dog would do something and he'd laugh about it, or I'd trip and he'd snicker at me, of course. Husbands, what do you do with them? So over time, I got some interesting things out there, like the time he tried to take down a cherry tree, a dead cherry tree with the tractor, and that didn't go well. And I got to put that up there and laugh at him, and just different things. So I thought, why don't I just tell everybody what my experience with this has been? Maybe it'll help somebody else, maybe it won't. Maybe I'm just talking to myself here, and okay if I am. I think the first thing that I find difficult is remembering to look at the phone where the camera is. And I've discovered selfies are not for me because I'm not quite sure where I should be looking if I do it from the side that is like taking a selfie. I have to do a couple of test runs anyway to make sure that I have the tripod set in a good spot and that I haven't chopped my head off, or I'm not, not showing nothing but the ceiling. All those sort of things. So I'll always do a couple test runs, testing 1, 2, 3, where's your head? How do you sound? And as for sound, the audio, well, I bought a little mic, and it was inexpensive, that's for sure. And if I'm recording here, sitting here this close to the camera and talking, I think it sounds fuzzy. Now, I have learned that if I'm outside working and the tripod is set up somewhere and I'm, 20 feet away doing something, the audio is much, much better. And I have to remember if to switch back and forth, to turn the mic off and turn it on, all that kind of good stuff. Another thing that I'm falling down on is remembering to talk about what I'm doing. I just recorded a video about taking wax plant cuttings for the garden, and there are stretches of that where my hands are busy. I'm putting the little cuttings down in the pellets, and I'm not saying anything. I had already said, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it. But there's things I could have talked about. I could have talked about my grandmother's love of begonias and how many she had and how she planted them every year, and I didn't think to do that. So the video, there's stretches where there's no real audio. It's not that there was a problem. I was just focusing on what my hands were doing, and I forgot to talk. So I need to get better with that. Then there's the times that, like if I'm out working on the tractor or in the garden, the phone shuts down all by itself. I have no reason. I don't know why. It just cuts off. Excuse me. When I talk a lot, my throat gets dry and I start to cough and my voice gets hoarse. So I apologize ahead of time if that starts to happen. But that's me. There's nothing I can do about it. Um, when the phone cuts off in the middle of the action, a lot of times there's no way to recreate that, so you're just stuck. So I have some videos that I was not able to finish because the phone did me in. Just nothing to do about it except maybe uh, get a like a two camera setup and have from different angles, and I could switch angles. I know a lot of people do that. Financially, I'm not there yet. That I haven't earmarked any money for that. I have a lot more things I'd rather spend my money on, like gardening season's coming up. It's going to be expensive. Then for me, the question is, how long should the videos be? And this gets into the editing part. What should I cut out? Like when I'm out on the tractor, how much of that do I need to show? How long is too long? How short is too short? Personally, most of the videos that I like best are between 20 and 30 minutes long. If they go over 30 minutes long, it better be something that I'm really interested in, or I just, I dump it. I move on to something else. And that's all part of editing. I use a very basic software editor. So it's just things to figure out. Load the whole thing up into the editor and you look at it, it's like, oh, well, you've got 48 minutes worth of footage here. You can't use all that. Nobody's going to sit and watch you going back and forth on the tractor for, 45, 50 minutes. So it has to be edited. Is there a part that I can kind of speed up? Yeah, sometimes. I'm figuring it out. It's one of those things I just have to keep working on and trying to get better at. Title screens. Some people use them, some people don't. I've been making them on an old Photoshop program, mostly because when YouTube picks a thumbnail out of a video, I don't always like it. Sometimes it's like it doesn't even show what the video is going to be about. Like it could just get a picture of my woods or something, and I might not be talking about my woods. It might be that it grabbed onto something, at the end of a segment, or I'm driving by on a tractor or something, or I'm walking the dog, or or it gets the dog, or it gets a bad angle on the dog, or anyway, I try and pick something a little bit better. Plus, I created a screen that's got like a little banner down the side with, Holly Tree Manor in a circle, and then a picture of me, that halfway decent picture of me that I found. So there again, I'm thinking about that, whether or not I should continue to put the thumbnail in the video itself. Some people do, some people don't. What do you do? Then intros. Some of the channels that I really like have these cute little intros. One of the channels that I like it's about a lady in Canada who raises sheep. And she has a cute little intro with the little cartoon sheep walking across and the little cartoon dog. And I kind of like that. So I went ahead and made an intro. I don't know if that's the one I'm going to keep forever and ever. I don't know. I'm going to use it for right now and see how that goes. Finding good music in the YouTube creator studio or shop, that takes a long time. I got to thinking with some of what I was doing, especially like out on the tractor, if I had a little snippet of music to layer over top of it, it might be more interesting. So boy, oh boy, I went out there and started listening to the music, and there is so much to sample and to wade through and to find a piece that actually fits what you're doing. You don't want it to be too fast. You don't want it to be too slow. Don't want to have one that all of a sudden somebody starts singing. I would prefer not to have that. So I'm working on that. I've found a couple pieces that I like, and I downloaded them and kept them, and I think I'm going to end up reusing my favorite pieces a couple of times, but that's okay. It's almost like a signature sound, and I personally don't see any problem with that. The other thing I'm thinking about, and I don't know about this, is creating a little outro video. Now, I've done that before. I have one that for some of my books. I am a published author. I've been published since, 2000 or thereabouts, more than 20 years. I'm not sure how much bearing the books have on what I'm doing, so I kind of gave that up. But maybe I need to create something that's pretty generic, just like my intro is generic. Just create the little outro. I figured out how to add an end screen at the end of the video where it suggests another video to look at, and then there's a little like and subscribe button there. But it goes over top of the last few seconds of the video, and if I'm saying something, or the very last screen where I tell people to please like and subscribe to help the channel grow, it covers some of that up. So maybe I need a little bit of something there that won't cover up the sign off. Something to think about, something that I might want to do. There again, that is all part of the learning experience. After I finish every video, I realize where I could have done it better, what I could have done to make it better. But usually at that point, it's too late to go back and re-edit because I've deleted footage, which I should not do, but that's how I've been working, deleting little snippets here and there just to tighten everything up. So when it comes to making YouTube videos, I guess the best thing I can do, it's the only thing I can do, is just keep going and learn as I go. Well, keep looking for ways to improve, critiquing myself, looking at other videos that I like, and critiquing them to myself. I am not about to go out there and put a comment on somebody else's video, that would say, that looked kind of stupid. No, if I don't have something nice to say about somebody's video, I'm not going to say it. And that's all there is to it. I'm not like that. I'm not going to go out there and criticize people for having fun making videos, because it is fun. It is something that I enjoy. So the last thing, marketing the videos. I don't have a clue about marketing. I've never had a clue about marketing. I got one of those Marketing for Dummies books a long time ago, and basically what that was, it said, any marketing is better than no marketing at all. So yeah, I spent like $10 on a Marketing for Dummies books. I was the dummy. I spent $10 on that book. But what do you do? Put it on the blog, put it out on Twitter, put it out on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how many people actually pay attention. So it could be that the best marketing tool I would have would be people who actually watch my videos. Maybe instead of saying just like and subscribe, maybe I should say, please like, subscribe, and share my videos to help the channel grow. That's probably the best way. Somebody says, oh, if you want to learn how to do the wax plants, go over and watch this girl do the wax plant cuttings, or go over and watch this woman as she's on the tractor. If she can do it, you can do it. And I really do think that is part of why I'm doing the videos. If you're a woman in my age group and you're living alone out in the country, you can do it. You can survive. You can learn how to do all sorts of things. I mean, I had to learn how to run a tractor. I had to learn how to do the log splitter. Um, it, you just learn. You learn how and when to mow the grass and when to the call to get the mowers and everything serviced. You learn how to do all that. That's why I'm making videos, so we can all learn. Some of the things I've never done before, but I record them anyway. It's like when I'm working in the garden. There's a lot of that I've never done before, but I'm bringing everybody along. You can laugh at me or not laugh at me. Doesn't make a lot of difference to me. So that's my story this morning on making YouTube videos. If you're wondering, what's this old woman doing? Has she lost her mind? Yeah, I think I had lost my mind. But thanks for coming along with me this morning and listen to me ramble. I appreciate you being here. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos to help my channel grow. And as always, I will sign off by saying, stay safe and look for joy in everything you do. If it's not joyful, then maybe you should reconsider why you're doing it. Thank you from Holly Tree Manor.